Hi friends, welcome to WebChamp. In this video, I am going to discuss data types in Power BI. Okay, so Power BI allows us to connect with the multiple sources, and the data type supported in that sources may be a different. But while reading the data, while loading the data into the Power BI, so what Power BI is going to do? So it will convert that data types into the Power BI's tabular model data type. Okay. So what are the tabular model data types in Power BI? So if you go to the data view and from the table, if you select the any specific column, okay. So here you will be able to view the various types of data types supported in Power BI. Okay. So if I open, so you can see that there is something called a whole number. You can see there is something called decimal. Okay. Then fixed decimal number, then date, time, text, true, false, meaning the Boolean type data and binary type data. Okay. So these are the types of data that is supported in tabular model of Power BI. So whenever you load the data, automatically Power BI has the ability to detect the data type. It will detect the data type and it will try to convert the data type into the one of these data types. Okay. So why it is important to know the data types? What will happen, or what is the use actually? Why we need to detect the data type, or we need to change the data type? So obviously, if you have a data in the time format, okay, so date and time format, okay, or I can say date time format. So the functions which are built in DAX to work with this kind of data are different. Okay, are different. If your date time values, meaning the column which you even which has date time meaning data, but the data type of column is text, then you will not be able to use the date time functions on that column or on that column values. So that's the problem. Okay, so it is very important to know the data types of your data, and if you are sure the data type is correct, then and then only you will be able to perform the transformations, whatever the required transformations to meet the reports. Okay, so I can say I mean, the data type is very important. It plays a very important role in case of Power BI also. Okay. Even Power BI automatically detect the data while performing the calculations. Okay. Even it automatically convert the DAX data type for the duration and I mean the calculation purpose and output of the calculation purpose. Okay. But here what happens, okay, when you create a DAX formula, the terms used in the formula will automatically determine the value data type return. So you need not to worried about the data types that you are going to use. But yes, you need to make sure the data type of that column is always correct. Okay. So this should not happens like you have a data uh, in the date format, and if you convert this into the text format, yes, you will be able to convert this, but the problem is what you will not be able to apply the date functions on this column. So that's why data type is very important. Now let's see how we can change them. What are the ways to change the data types, right? What are the various ways? So if you come to the report view here, you will not see anything to change the data type. But whenever you wanted to change the data type of any column, you need to come here. You need to select that specific column, and then you will be able to change the data type. So okay, so this is how you can change the data type. Once the data type is declared, okay, I mean the changed, you need to define the format, or you can select the format. So if I select this short date, so it will works like this. So it allows you to, in case of even number format, it will allows you to select the number format. In case of the text, obviously the format will be a text only, right? So this is how it allows, this is the structure and this is the formatting. Okay, then this is the one way to change the, or here you can see in the data view, you will be able to change the data type. If you go to the model view, yes, and if you select the column, okay, if I go and if I select the column from the calendar table, okay, let's say this is my calendar table. If I select the date column, if I go to the properties and if I just move down, okay, so there is something called a formatting, and even here also you have an option to change the data type. Okay, you can change the format also. It's up to you from where you want to change. But yes, sometime what happens, you may try wants to try the, okay, try to convert the data. Okay, the data may be coming from the database, and your data from the query editor comes into the from the query editor, it comes into the Power BI as an text, even though that column is number column. So sometimes Power BI will not be able to perform the changes, that kind of changes. It will not be able to change the data type. Okay, by any reason. So there is a one more way to change the data type. Okay, if you go to the query editor, if I select the column and then if I go to the Power Query Editor, so here in Query Editor also you can change it. Power Query Editor itself is detecting the data types, but sometime you may want or you may need to change the data type of any column. So if the Power BI will not allow, then you can open the Query Editor and change the data type. So okay, either any of these will work for you. So if you go to the, okay, data type, if here you can change this into the text, or even this has more data types, right? This Power Query has more data types, but little bit with respect to number, decimal number, fixed decimal number, whole number, and percentage. Percentage is added. Otherwise, almost everything is same in case of Power Query and Power BI. Okay, even you can, by looking at the data types, okay, you can easily understand if the column is of date type, so you can perform the date type operations on the column. Like you can use the functions which are applicable for the date time data. So this is how the data types are going to help us to identify what to do and how to select the functions. Okay, even it help us to select the operators also. Operators that help us to modify the data or perform the operation on the data. Obviously, you are not going to multiply or performing the arithmetic operations on the text data, right? You need a number data. So this is how the data types are very important. Data types plays a very important role in case of data field. Okay, I hope you like the content of this video. Thank you so much for watching the video. Have a nice day.